is certainly a large portion of this that will be the uncommitted vote, as you see both in Connecticut and Rhode Island as options. In Wisconsin, they have an open primary, so people can vote in either primary. But in New York, we are seeing an actual movement called Leave It Blank, where they're the Working Party's family, which is a major political organization within the state of New York. When you run in New York, you tend to run on multiple lines, Republican, conservative, independents, same with the Democrats. They are encouraging people and supporting today that in New York, if you are going to vote for Joe Biden, you don't. You hand in your ballot blank for him as a protest vote, not to say that they would support Donald Trump in the future, but to say they're unhappy with where things are going with Joe Biden. I think you will continue to see that kind of uncontested, undeclared, leave it blank movement for Democrats across the country. And I think you're going to see it play out in most of these states today.
But, you know, TW, we've seen recently the president take steps that might try to appeal to traditionally Democratic voters, including that pitch for student loan forgiveness, right? And then, of course, who can forget on Sunday declaring it Trans Visibility Day. So what's not resonating with voters? Why would people choose uncommitted over that?
Well, what's not resonating is the last 3.5 years, and where we've seen America's become less safe, less free, and less prosperous because of the policies of Joe Biden. I mean, listen, what I'm looking for tonight, frankly, this is, as has already been mentioned, we have our presumptive nominees of both parties, but really it's the intensity on the behalf of Donald Trump. We've seen this time and time again on election night here in this 2024 election cycle, where Donald Trump has overperformed because of the intensity of those that support him. And not only has he overperformed with those that already traditionally support him, but he's finding a home in other groups. Now, obviously, the big news today politically, as far as campaigns goes, is that RFK did make the ballot in North Carolina. That's not a race for tonight, but certainly that matters. And what we've seen in most polling is that he absolutely hurts Joe Biden a lot more than he hurts Donald Trump. So tonight we're looking for the intensity of the Trump movement. This is definitely a movement. Donald Trump has made the Republican Party the party of the working class person. That is a difference. That's why African-Americans, Hispanics are moving that direction. Joe Biden's in trouble. He knows it, and the rest of the Democrat Party knows it.
Also on this ballot in Wisconsin, a referendum, Wisconsin voters deciding on the private funding of elections. They'll be able to vote on that as well, which you see here in the Gazette writing about that. And again, each state will have their own specific measures they'll be able to cast their ballot on. And we'll be covering that for you as well. They have this uninstructed option delegate here, again, as we watch Wisconsin. But again, pulling it back just a bit here, as we've had on presidential candidate on the independent side, RFK Jr. on this program at around 9 a.m. on National Report, Aaron. We asked him about him staying in this race and who does he pull votes from? Many believe it's Biden voters. Aaron, what does RFK Jr. do to stir up this race?
Well, this is a classic third-party spoiler, and the spoiler for RFK would be against Joe Biden. Don't let RFK Jr. fool anybody. He is a Democrat through and through. And the idea that he would take votes for anybody other than Joe Biden, who clearly has not only a base issue, but a party issue overall when it comes to support from Democrats, to TW's point, you see the enthusiasm with Donald Trump from Republican voters. You're seeing the opposite of that play out for Joe Biden. So RFK Jr. is setting up to be a spoiler here.
Yeah,
if I may, I would correct just one thing you said. You said he's a Democrat. I'd go even further. He's a radical liberal Democrat. We saw that by his choice of vice presidential nominee. I mean, listen, as you mentioned, RFK's not fooling anybody. The Democrats are in a panic right now, not just because they have a third-party spoiler candidate, but because the policies of Joe Biden have failed. This election is about security. It's about personal security, financial security, national security, and border security, all of which Joe Biden and the border czar Kamala Harris have a terrible record on. They're running as far away from it as they can, and there's no turning back at this point. The Democrats are in trouble. They know it, and the rest of the country knows it. And frankly, the rest of the world knows it.